is the case. In Canada, we have drinking water quality guidelines, whereas the United States, the European Union have drinking water quality regulations or standards. Canada has no national regulatory body for enforcing water quality standards. I put this like this to some people. When you are driving on the highway, do you have driving guidelines or some hard and fast driving rules? In the water industry, we have no hard and fast rules to govern this water, which is the life giver of all people. Okay. Water quality standards. We have the provincial water quality guidelines, the national water quality guidelines, the U.S. water quality regulations, the EU water quality regulations. What do you choose to protect the health of your people? And if you're on a First Nation, you have a mix of the top two provincial and national water quality guidelines, but no hard and fast standard to tell us what type of water we should be drinking. Responsibility and liability. March 2007, INAC changed the fine print of all First Nations contribution agreements to download total responsibility for drinking water quality to the chief and leadership of each community. Band Council resolutions. The Safe Drinking Water Foundation highly recommend that all First Nation leaders reject this downloading of responsibility and liability until such time as your water treatment processes are capable of producing truly safe drinking water. That is, a water which consistently meets all parameters of the full complement of the Canadian Drinking Water Quality Guidelines. A sample BCR enclosed in your delegate packets. It is our opinion that it is the federal government's responsibility as in our hereditary inherent right as a sovereign nation to find a practical and effective water treatment process using sound science and engineering that can produce drinking water meeting the requirements we have stipulated above. Once such water treatment processes are implemented in our community and we have been provided with sufficient resources, we will be happy to assume responsibility for the safety of our distributed water. Why do we need reverse osmosis, RO, most people in the industry call it? Well, for one thing, there's too much of everything. The processes that are in front of an RO either make or break an RO. Some of the things in the water are salt, organic carbon, arsenic, ammonium, iron, manganese, sulfate, hardness, calcium, magnesium, and alkalinity. Where do we need RO? At all challenging water sources require RO treatment. Conventional treatment failure. In the conventional treatment, as on as I am familiar with on First Nations, are a very quickly put together, more or less rubber stamp treatment. This causes corroded hot water heater, washing machines, dishwashers, taste and odor problems, and health issues. These conventional systems rarely are they capable of producing a drinking water quality that consistently meets all Canadian drinking water quality guidelines. Osmosis, what is it? When pressure is applied to pour source water through the smallest possible filtration membrane, producing a wastewater and a treated water supply. Reverse osmosis, what is it? The treated water is called permeate and is highly purified. In conventional processes, these two waters are mixed as the treated water. An RO is therefore about pressure pushing water through a membrane. Only water, H2O, and some small compounds such as sodium can go through a membrane. This is just a typical cell size. Because an RO membrane removes everything, the RO pores are easily clogged. This clogging is caused by as I had mentioned before, poorly thought out pretreatment. On the left is a new pre-filter, is what they look like when they are put in. The right, the brown ones are pre-filters that should not look like that, but are taking out what is coming through your pre-treatment. The Gordon pre-filters in this picture were 3 months old and had treated more than 40 million liters of water. Size does not matter in water treatment. You have the same problems with the big, small systems. The same principles apply and the same solutions. If you have no solutions for a small system, you probably have no solutions for large systems, as I've seen in our own area. This is the Pasqua plant is just, I would say, a half hour north of Regina. This is a Pasqua plant with their RO, but maybe I could say something. We have biological plants. Pasqua is one of them. It was the second plant. Yellow Quill being the first, Gordon's being the third. And the RO systems now behind the biological treatment, the water that the RO system now is given is a very stable water with little or no nutrients available to provide fouling. This is a George Gordon plant where I was a water treatment plant for years, operator for years. The Muscogin plant is the next plant that will be a biological plant. They right now have manganese green sand ahead of this RO and have just finished installing new membranes because the others had fouled to where the pressures had shut the unit down. one of the operators at Muscovy plant. Behind him are the green sand filters. This is a direct plant we had went to in Tisdale. They had, from what I hear, had problems with the iron levels were too high in their finished water, so I'm not sure if they had remedied that problem. We were down to Florida. The guy in the middle there was, I guess, the guru of all membrane makers. I guess he has started making membranes way back and is still making membranes. Excuse me, not membranes, but RO units. And he was very knowledgeable and has not went the route of the big companies. His company is a small company and is very proud of it and produces excellent RO units. This members of the Advanced Aboriginal team. When we were at, I'm not sure where this is, maybe in Toronto. AAWTT members. The members volunteer their time and are available to help you in your community. In our communities, we get calls we more or less have a small network set up in our tribal council where we're in touch more or less daily with other members of the tribal council water treatment plant operators. And the members can participate via webinar or internet if desired to set in on your project meetings. Because of, I guess, old ideas, water treatment plant operators are usually not allowed to set in on PMT meetings and projects. I think the engineers and whatever have you like to have the chief and council there to make the decision. It's not a very good decision that it's made most of the time. And the AAWTT members would like to help you to ensure that the best interests of your community are #1 priority. If you only do one thing when you leave this gathering, let it be a BCR to reject responsibility and liability for your drinking water back to INAC until, I would say, INAC provides the tools to meet these drinking water standards. The story of big oil at the heart of the oil sands in Alberta, Canada. One courageous doctor put his career on the line as he fights for the lives of the Aboriginal people living and dying downstream from one of the most popular polluting and toxic oil operations in the world. Free DVDs, Crapshoot, takes viewers on a journey around the world to explore different approaches to sewage, questioning whether the sewage is alleviating or compounding our waste problem. Downstream and Crapshoot available free to Safe Drinking Water Foundation members, all schools ordering Operation Water Drop and Operation Water Pollution, sponsored kits available. Email at info@safewater.org or visit our website at www.safewater.org. safewater.org for more information. Thanks to our sponsor, RBC, Blue Water Project, the Sapphire Group, Alberta Eco Trust, and Filterlite. And you can visit us at our website at www.safewater.org. Yep, thank you. And would you have any questions? I can answer questions at the present time on the slides, the previous slides. You read that? The AAWTT members, if you only do one thing when you leave this gathering, let it be a BCR to reject responsibility and liability for your drinking water back to INAC.
Yes, this is a band council resolution, and these are available on our website at www.safewater.org. You can also email me. The info@safewater.org account is my email account, and I can help you by sending you documents and providing you with more information and answering your questions if you would like.
At the present time, it is very challenging to find any training in Canada and very little or nothing in Saskatchewan. The Saskwater part of that is something, I'm not sure where they got it, but it actually, I think they got their training in California from, I'm not sure, but it is very challenging to find training. We did training, some training in Phoenix and some in Florida. Question from Krista. Could we get some history about the INAC decision downloading responsibilities to First Nations? Now this is not a question or something I'm really not familiar with. The only thing I am familiar with that INAC has this long-term plan to download either to the First Nations or the provinces all responsibility for First Nation people. Thank you. Karen Baines asks, why is INAC not more active in this? That's a good question, Karen. I have been in contact with different INAC levels of their office people, and it's, from my understanding, it's, you're just pushed from one person to another. and no one really has any answers, nor will they provide you with any real training dollars. They like to give their training dollars to Saskwater in Saskatchewan here. But for us to train them ourselves has not met a very good response from INAC.
Ginger Gibson asked, are there examples of Band Council resolutions that we might be able to share with you, and will we be sending out the presentation afterwards? I don't really want to flood everyone's inbox with the PowerPoint presentation if they do not want it. However, my email is info@safewater.org. I'm the program coordinator here at the Safe Drinking Water Foundation. My name is Nicole Biederbeck, and I would be able to send out that PowerPoint to you. Also, we will be posting the video on our website under webinar videos. And there are Band Council resolutions available, examples of them on our website under policy. And also, in addition, if you do want me to help you out more with that, I do have some Word documents that I can send you. So if you are interested in that, I can send you some out by email. So again, contact me by email if you're interested in any more of these areas. Thank you, Ginger.
From Krista, given the proper resources, including AAWTT being supported by INAC, would it not be better to have our band councils be in charge of our water? I would trust them first. Krista, whether the bands like it or not, they are in charge of their water. INAC is not liable for anything that happens in your water treatment plant if you're a First Nation. That was downloaded through the contribution agreements. They also, on my band, my maintenance manager did not know right away that also OHS, the chief and council, are responsible for. So there's a lot of downloaded material and liability, responsibility they have downloaded over the years with no money or ways of funding any of these responsibilities. They kept the money and downloaded the responsibility and liability. Dale, First Team Consulting, says, Bob, what was the main reason for going with RO over nanofiltration or ultrafiltration? Well, at the first, we had started with nanofiltration, but at that time, from what I found out with RO or nano, that nanofiltration points out the weakness of your pre-treatment a lot quicker than RO will. And ultrafiltration is something we never got into. We never considered it. Because at that time there was only one company that was doing it, that was interested in coming out on First Nations, and we didn't agree with their policies and whatever. But so we thought if you're going to have water, you may as well have the best water instead of nanofiltration. Nanofiltration in some areas where we were in the States, it's called softening membranes. It softens water but leaves a lot of stuff in. Okay. Okay. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to present at this webinar with Bob Pratt running, and it was my first time. Thanks for your cooperation, and thank you.